You hatch from an egg, somewhere in North America, with 3 siblings breaking out of their shells around you inside a hole in a tree trunk. Your father arrives first, dropping a small lizard onto the floor of the cavity, and all 4 of you lunge for it at once. 2 of your siblings get there before you, so you push forward and try to grab the end that's sticking out, but one of your siblings pulls it back and swallows it whole. You go without. A few days pass, and your father arrives again, this time with a grasshopper hanging from his beak. You're the closest one to the entrance, so you grab it before any of your siblings can reach it. But one of them locks onto the other end and pulls hard, dragging you both toward the opening of the cavity. Open air appears below you for the first time, with the ground sitting a long way down, so you let go of the grasshopper and pull yourself back from the edge. Your sibling takes the food. Then, a few days later, your father drops a small mouse near the back of the cavity. One of your siblings charges toward it, but you cut across first, get your body over it, and pin it to the floor with your wings spread out. Your sibling tries to push in from the side, but you hold your position and start eating. That's your first real meal. You're the smallest in the cavity and the last one to eat most days, but you've just learned that position matters more than size. Getting there first and holding your ground is the only thing that works in here. Soon, the cavity won't be big enough for all 4 of you. You're 4 weeks old now, and for the past few days, all 4 of you have been standing at the cavity entrance with your wings open, letting the wind push against them. One of your siblings steps off the edge and glides to a branch on a nearby tree. A second one follows and makes it across. So you step up to the opening, spread your wings, and jump. But your wings don't get enough grip on the air, so you drop fast and land hard in the long grass below the tree. You try to get back up, but your legs don't hold you properly yet and you fall sideways. A crow spots you from a fence post nearby and flies over, landing a few meters away and walking toward you with its head low. You flap as hard as you can, trying to get off the ground, and manage a short, low glide that carries you into a bush at the edge of the field. The crow follows and lands on top of the bush, trying to reach you through the branches. Then your mother drops out of the sky and drives straight into the crow, forcing it off the bush and chasing it back across the field. She comes back and lands on a low branch just above you. You climb up toward her, branch by branch, until you're both sitting in the same tree. You stay there for the rest of the day without trying to fly again. But the next morning, you climb to the highest branch you can reach and jump again. This time, your wings find the air properly, and you carry yourself across the field and land in the tree line on the far side. Your siblings are already there. You're the last one to make it, but you made it. Now the real problem starts, because your parents won't bring food to you out here. You're 3 months old now, and for the past few weeks, you've been watching your parents hover above the field and drop onto things in the grass. Today you need to eat, so you try it yourself. You climb to a high branch, spot a grasshopper moving through the grass below, and launch out over the field with your wings beating fast to hold you in one place above it. But your body keeps drifting sideways, so you lose the position and have to pull out of the hover and land on a fence post. You try again with a beetle resting on a stone. You get above it, fold your wings, and drop. But you come in at the wrong angle and hit the ground next to it, so the beetle drops off the stone and disappears into the grass before you can grab it. Then you spot a slow grasshopper in a clear patch and dive for it, but it kicks away just before your feet touch it. So you land on a fence post at the edge of the field and wait instead of chasing. A grasshopper moves into the open grass directly below the post, so you drop straight down with your feet forward and pin it cleanly before it can react. That's your first catch on your own. Over the next few days, you go back to the same post and use the same method, dropping straight down onto anything that moves below you. It works more often than hovering does because the drop is short and direct, but the post only covers a small patch of ground, and the grasshoppers in that spot are starting to stay away from it. You're going to need more than one spot to feed from if you want to eat every day. You're 8 months old now, and you've spent the last few weeks working a stretch of open farmland as your own hunting ground, moving between fence posts along one side of the field and taking anything that moves in the grass below. Today, you arrive at your usual first post, and another kestrel is already sitting on it. He's a male, slightly bigger than you, and he doesn't move when you land nearby. You dive at him straight away, trying to drive him off the post, but he drops off the post himself and rises back up into a hover above the field. So you go up into a hover too, and both of you work the same strip of grass, cutting across each other's paths and forcing the other one to pull away. He drops onto a vole before you can reach it, and carries it to a post further down the fence to eat. You follow and land 2 posts away, watching him until he finishes. Every day for the next week, you come back to the same field at the same time, and every day he's already there. So you start arriving earlier, taking the first post before he shows up and working your way along the fence line before he gets into position. He starts arriving later each day, and after a few more days he stops coming to your side of the field at all. The voles are yours again. But holding this ground took a week of showing up every single day and refusing to leave, and you know another kestrel could try the same thing at any point. You've learned that keeping a territory takes just as much work as finding one, and as winter gets harder, other hunters are going to start looking for easier ground. You're 1 year old now, and a hard frost has pushed through the area and driven most of the insects underground. You work the field from post to post, but the grass stays still below you for long stretches. So you switch to hovering over the open ground and scanning for movement. After several passes across the field, with nothing to show for it, you drop into a low glide just above the grass. That's when something catches in your vision that other hunters can't see. You can pick up ultraviolet light, and vole urine glows in it, leaving bright trails across the ground between burrow entrances wherever the animals have been running. The trails lead you directly to the most active spots in the field. You pull up into a hover above the brightest point in your vision, hold your position, and wait. A vole comes out of the burrow entrance below you, and you drop and pin it before it covers half a body length. Over the following days, you stop working the fence posts and start reading the field from above instead, following the trails from one active point to the next and hovering only where the ground tells you something is moving. You catch more in less time and cover more of the field than you did before. The buzzard that hunts the far end of the same field is working by sight alone, watching for movement and going long stretches without a catch. You're using information it can't access. But the field is only so big, and the vole population only goes so far. When spring arrives and the ground opens back up, something else is going to move into this territory and bring a problem that the UV trails won't help you solve. You're 1.5 years old now, and spring has brought other kestrels into the area. You've been sitting on high posts along your territory for several days, calling out across the field, when a female lands on a branch above you and looks down. You leave the post immediately, fly to a spot in the grass where you saw a vole trail earlier, drop and catch one, and fly back up to her with it in your feet. You hold it out, and she takes it from you directly, beak to beak. She stays in the area. Over the next few days, you bring her food each morning and lead her to different holes in trees around your territory, hovering at each entrance while she goes in and checks the inside. She comes back out of the first two without much interest, but at the third one, she stays inside longer, and when she comes back out, she lands near the entrance and stays there. So you start bringing everything you catch back to that tree, dropping it at the entrance for her while she sits nearby. A few weeks later, she's inside the cavity sitting on 4 eggs, and you're hunting from first light to late afternoon, making trips back to the tree every hour with whatever you've caught. The territory feels bigger now that you're covering it constantly, and the amount of ground you need to search to keep her fed is pushing you further from the nest with each trip. You've started going past the far edge of the field and into the tree line on the other side. That's new ground, and something already lives in those trees. You're 2 years old now, and you've been crossing into the tree line on the far side of the field for several weeks without any problems. Today, you catch a vole in the open ground near the tree line and turn back toward the nest with it in your feet. You're halfway across the field when a Cooper's hawk drops out of the trees behind you and locks onto you from above. You drop the vole straight away and bank hard to one side, cutting low over the grass to use the uneven ground as cover. The hawk follows and closes the gap fast, so you pull into a tight circle around a fence post, forcing it to overshoot and pull up. It circles once and comes back at a lower angle, so you cut sideways and drive into a thick hedgerow at the edge of the field, with your wings tucked in tight. The hawk pulls up at the hedgerow edge and doesn't follow you through. You push through the branches to the other side, drop low over the ground, and take a long route back around the far edge of the field to reach the nest tree. The eggs are still there and your female is still on them, but over the next few days you notice the hawk sitting in the trees at the edge of the field, watching the nest tree from a distance. You start leaving and arriving at different angles each time, never flying a straight line between the field and the nest. It doesn't attack again, but it stays in the tree line. And in a few weeks, the eggs will hatch, and the trips back and forth will double. You're 3 years old now. It's a clear afternoon, and you're working the middle of the field, moving between hover points above the vole trails you've been reading all season. You pick up a bright trail below you, hold your position above it, and wait. A vole breaks from the burrow entrance and runs through the open grass, so you fold your wings and drop, hitting it cleanly and spreading your wings out over it to pin it to the ground. A shadow crosses you before you can lift off. A red-tailed hawk hits you from above at full speed with its feet forward, driving you and the vole into the ground together. You don't get up.